Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartell in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we go to the north side of Youngstown, home of the Ursuline Fighting Irish girls basketball coach, Bernard Scott. Coach, how we doing today?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem, Coach. We always love talking to you. And what I really want to talk about is this Ursuline girls basketball team. We talked a little bit off air, and you mentioned to me again, and it slipped my mind, but this was a very young team last year. I thought you guys had a senior or two on the squad. You guys actually had no seniors on the squad last year. Very young team, but it was a team that had a lot of success, made a nice postseason run as well. I'm sure there's a lot you guys want to build from that season. But before we do that, let's get a chance to meet the team, the familiar faces we know, and maybe some new faces that are going to be on this Irish team this year.
Yeah, well, we returned Lily Scott, my daughter. She's a junior this year. Looking for her to have a big year. Also, Elena Smith, who was our top scorer last year, top rebounder, really good player, probably one of the top players in the area. We returned Meredith Gray, who's kind of like our Draymond Green of the team. She does all the dirty work, really high IQ. And then we have Grace Leslie, who started for us a little bit last year. We have Katie, who was a freshman last year, who's a sophomore now. And a new addition right now is Trinity Lamb, who didn't play last year because she's going to end up playing college volleyball. So she really put a lot of time into her volleyball game last year, but decided for her senior year she's going to come out. And then we have the freshman class. I'm really excited about. We have Brooklyn Brown, Carly Casey, Brooke O'Palick, Jada Jones, Julie Lee. We have quite a few freshmen that I think are gonna help us as well.
Now, schedule wise, too, just to go through this schedule, I know you guys, smaller conference, so it leaves a lot of open room for you guys to schedule what you want. And I know Ursuline never shies away from competition. I mean, I always like to ask what coaches give their schedule. Most of them say an A, so I know you aren't going to hesitate saying an A, but just let's go through some of these matchups. I mean, you see St. Vincent St. Mary's, you see Salem, you see Girard, you see teams like Mooney on there, which are always competitive. Struthers is going to be very improved. South Range. What about this schedule do you like, and what do you like about this schedule that you think is going to test you guys, and what areas do you think you need tested the most in before a tournament?
Yeah, you know what? Our schedule, our AD does a good job of scheduling quality games. I'm a coach that even when I was at the college level, I always played a tough schedule because I think it prepares you for that postseason run. It's kind of false advertisement if you play teams that you're really that much better than. So we like to play a competitive schedule. You've mentioned St. Vincent, St. Mary. We got Howland on there, Salem, who we didn't get to play last year, but that's a good program. Looking forward to playing them, and always a good game with Mooney and those guys. But I just think the schedule prepares our girls to be ready for the tournament play, especially moving up a division this year. We're usually in Division III, but we usually play a Division I or II schedule anyway. So for me, moving up isn't really a big deal because I feel like we're playing most of those teams during the season anyway.
You look at the schedule, I think it's going to prepare you well. Outside of like coaching the Ursuline girls basketball team, though, I mean, you're closely involved with the sport. You got your own basketball academy too. I mean, I know you played yourself, I think, to the college level, if I'm not mistaken, as
Yes.
well. So, I mean, this has always been a huge part of your life.
Yes.
What keeps you driving with the sport, man? What keeps you coming back? What gives you the love for it to wake up every day and be so directly involved with local basketball?
Well, for me, for one, I love the game. The game has brought me so many opportunities. I've had a great career either playing or coaching. So I love the game, but I also enjoy seeing young players, young athletes get better. I enjoy coaching them and giving them the correct way to play the game, teaching them the fundamentals of the game, which I think a lot of players are lacking. nowadays. But also, I just like to see kids grow. And that's what the big thing with my academy, when kids come to the camps, the clinics, I just want to see them improve. And that's the same thing with Ursuline girls basketball. I thought last year we were young, but we improved as the year went on, made a good run in the tournament there and lost to a good Brookfield team. And this year, I think we're going to be even better. Just to talk about our numbers a little bit, last year we had 16 total players in the program. This year we're up to 24. So we're growing. I think the girls realize that when they come to play at Ursuline, they're going to get quality coaching. They're going to get taught the right way, and they're going to have an opportunity to play good competition. And I think that's good.
And that's always great to see the numbers rising too. We were talking with some other coaches about the challenges that they faced because of the COVID year, because so many girls that were in the middle school ages kind of just weren't interested in basketball during that COVID year, and it kind of created a gap in that. So I guess in saying that too, what do you think needs to be done locally to drive that interest, because you're so closely related with basketball? What do you think it needs to be done to drive that interest at a younger age and get girls and boys more involved with the sport?
Yeah, I just think we got to keep promoting it. I think we got to have quality coaches that players enjoy playing for, and parents believe their daughters or sons are learning from. I think the coaching is really important because bad coaching can turn off a young athlete and can turn off parents, So promoting it, also just giving more opportunities. I run a lot of stuff, but I know there's a couple, Dre Day runs some things as well. There's a lot of us out there that I think do it the right way. And I think we got to get more kids involved with us.
You mentioned having Lily on the team too, and I always think that's a unique dynamic, and I always love the story too of parents coaching their sons, coaching their daughters, vice versa. But what I'm curious about too is, do you as a parent ever try to take that time, or do you have to try to like step back, or like put on the coaching face, take it off while you're coaching these games, to try to, I guess, appreciate what's also happening on the court, watching your daughter, but also coaching your daughter? How's that dynamic, and is it tough to kind of manage that?
Yeah, you know what? We got off to a rocky start last year. I expect a lot of Lily. She's been around the game a lot, just being with me, and I was a little harder on her last year than I were on the other kids, and I had to back off a little bit on her just to let her play, and like you said, enjoy having the opportunity to coach her. So we ended up coming to a even ground there, and she did well to finish the season. But it's a great opportunity. Not everyone gets to do it. I enjoy coaching her. She's a great young lady, and she's really taken a big step this summer in her game. She's put in a lot of work. I think people are going to see her be more consistent this year in her play. And with that being said, that'll help us as a team if she's more consistent.
Coach, you're a big voice in this area. You're one that a lot of young girls and young boys look up to and look to for advice on the sport. So I'm kind of curious where that all came from. What bit of advice was given to you, or what coach had such a big impact on you that wanted you to keep pursuing this and eventually take over that coaching and that mentorship role in the sport of basketball?
Yeah, you know what? Growing up, I had some really good coaches coming from Villa St. Joe's. I had Ted Kwasniak, who did a really good job with us. We had quite a few players that played at the college level coming from there. So, and then once I got to college, I had Stan Joplin. I worked with Coach Mark Elan on the women's side, who gave me my first opportunity to be a college coach. And from there, I just started to really watch people. And I always had a dream of being a head coach at the college level. And, Kate Peterson helped me with that as well from Cleveland State. So I've had quite a few people. Hard to go through all of them, but there are quite a few that I appreciate that helped me get to where I'm at.
Coach, I want to give you the chance to shout out the rest of your staff too, as well, because I know sometimes staff changes, sometimes they stay the same, but we already know they're always important year in and year out too. So, without
Yeah,
further ado, I want to give you the chance to introduce the 2022-23 edition of the Irish staff.
Yeah, I have a great staff. Coach Bree has been with me. She was with me last year, but she was with the previous staff as well. She just does a really good job of communicating with the girls. She's a teacher, so she understands how to communicate with them. Coach Doc has been really good for me as well. Coach Doc, I believe, played at Fitch, is in the Hall of Fame. Does a good job with the girls on the court. And we've added Coach Anissa this year, who played at Ursuline a few years back, had a great career at Ursuline. She also helps me with my academies a lot, but we brought her on staff this year, and she's doing a good job with the young ladies as well.
I love the energy that I was seeing from your Twitter page too. You were showing that in practice, and you mentioned things that coaches always want to improve on. And I feel like no matter what coach I talk to, they always say we could always bring the energy up higher too. Always bring that support up higher. But when you see the kids getting happier for someone else's shot than their own, what does that say to you as a coach, and what does it mean to you as a head coach seeing that from your players?
Well, it means a lot because we're built on a we not me standard here. So when I see other players getting excited for someone else's success, I get excited because that means we're about each other, we're about the team, and not about ourselves. And I think the only way we're going to be good, I continue to tell our players this, is that if everyone get on the same page and think more about the we than the me. This isn't about one person. One person can't win a game for us. We're going to have to do it as a team. So it excites me. And I'm a high energy guy. So when I see people getting pumped like that, it just juices me up,
The mental side of the game always important, but let's just talk about the on-court side of the game real quick, because always, I know coaches, teams, once they experience success, you always want more, right? You always want to take that next step. And yeah, going all the way to Brookfield was a great season last year, but you definitely want to build from that. It's a good foundation season. So on-court stuff, what are the check marks, I guess, that need to happen, or what are the things that you need to see happen improvement wise to take that next step in this team?
Yeah, we need to take better care of the basketball. We turned the ball over quite a bit last year in crucial times, and our conditioning needed to be better this year. Some of our players played a lot of minutes last year, and down the stretch in games, we saw ourselves try to take breaks at the wrong time that cost us. So this year, we're really just focusing on our execution, valuing the basketball more, and we're doing a lot of conditioning. We didn't condition as much last year, and that's on me. But this year, we're doing a lot of conditioning to make sure that we can finish games. I think that's the main thing we're focusing on, is just finishing. We know what our girls are capable of when they're fresh. It's when we're tired and we're in a battle, who's going to step up and still be able to finish.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance for a little bit of shameless self-promotion. And I mean, if returning all those girls from a year ago, paired with the great schedule that you guys have, isn't enough to draw the Irish community, go ahead and tell the Ursuline Irish faithful why it's going to be so important to come out and support this team this year, and why they're going to be worth the price of admission.
Well, I know we got a great fan base, and I think they're going to be excited about what we put on the floor this year with our returning players and with the newcomers. We're going to be a much improved team. I'm excited about the season because the girls are excited. The energy is different. I think they believe we can make some noise this year, and since that's the case, I think we got a great shot at making something happen. So, all those Ursuline fans out there, we need you in the stands. We need your support, and these girls need your support. So come out and support us when the season starts. Thanks.
We'll definitely be there to support you as well, Coach. You can catch some Ursuline Irish girls basketball games on ysnlive.com this season for absolutely free of charge. Thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors. This has been another edition of Ursuline Girls Basketball Coaches Corner with Bernard Scott.